Thanks for staying with us. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has cautioned the Mount Kenya region against voting for his deputy, William Ruto.
He was speaking in Nyeri and Murang'a, where he thanked the residents for the support they gave him for the 10 years he was in office.
In Othaya, Nyeri County, Kenya Coalition candidate Raila Odinga and accused Ruto of spreading falsehood about him.
Nairobi na kumuthekiari na wako murekeria maciringi maria maiyete ati nigetha mukeneri niki kingi mekite ya kero riu nigetha marugame haha matuire ati nimeguka kumwikira maramwikira mariku bakoira ati maundu mahingicanire ati riria twagithaniria na muthuri we turaiga riu ri gucaria thayo ri wa bururi ni uru kuma riria twagithanirie ri githugu tiagire thayo. Leo tunaiba makiwate ndagethaniria ndagethaniria ati ndathire ndahingicire gatiba riria ndathire kumucaria nake nigetha tugeithanie ri na nigetha tugie na thayo thutha wa githurano gia 2007 ri nindahithĩtie.
Nairobians will be going to the polls next Tuesday to elect the next chief executive officer of the country's capital city.
In a highly charged race, the contest has attracted 9 candidates, with 2 top contenders being UDA's Johnson Sakaja and Jubilee's Polycarp Igathe.
The high-stakes governorship face-off will seek to secure the leadership vacuum experienced in the current regime that resulted in the birth of the Nairobi Metropolitan Services.
Our reporter Vincent Odwar now looks at...
Battle for Nairobi City gubernatorial race is at fever pitch, with 9 candidates squaring it out at the ballot to win the seat. With a total of 2.5 million registered voters, the candidates have been crisscrossing the country, wooing voters to back their bids to take over the mantle at City Hall. As the 2 frontrunners, outgoing Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja of United Democratic Alliance UDA and former Nairobi Deputy Governor Polycarp Igathe of Jubilee Party seek to battle it out on August 9th. Former Nairobi Town Clerk Philip Kisia, who has been around Nairobi political leadership for almost 6 decades, says the top seat has currently largely failed to attract high-caliber candidates.
I'm actually a little bit taken aback because for a capital city like this one, you'll expect that it would attract people of very high caliber, people who have track records in management. We're very limited. We're very limited because we have 2 front runners. One of them has some little political experience. The other one has a fairly good management experience, but then he lacks in political experience.
Although Kisia expresses his reservation with those who have thrown their weight in the ring to run for the Nairobi governorship seat, it appears this particular seat is turning into a career killer's if the experience of the past 2 occupants is anything to go by. The first Nairobi governor, Dr. Ott, his successor Mike Sonko, was impeached even before he could finish his first term, and is also currently fighting corruption cases in court, which has since led to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC blocking him from shifting base to Mombasa to run for a similar seat.
So I think we really have a problem. You know, people who would want to offer themselves for that fit both, both skill leadership. you know, you need a combination of both to run a capital city or a capital county like Nairobi.
The opinion poll by InfoTrack research firm conducted in July placed Sakaja as the most popular gubernatorial candidate at 39%. Voters were at 28%. Kisia argues there are two ingredients that determine who becomes governor in Nairobi.
Number one is Raila. Yeah. Yes, that's the fact. Let me tell you, if you want to be to hold political office anywhere in this republic, that includes Nairobi, if you don't have a strong support base in the informal settlement, you're getting nowhere. And in any event, those are over 70% of the voters in the informal settlement. You guys who call yourself middle class and upper class, one, you have very few votes watching cartoons.
In the 2017 general election, out of the 17 constituents, Jubilee also won the gubernatorial and the senatorial seat. Jubilee comes back to the contest shredded, while Sakaja, who has since ditched the party, comes with a new outfit, UDA. As the candidates make their last-minute rush to woo the voters, they are confronted with a number of issues that affect the residents. City Hall has had its fair share of challenges, ranging from leadership wrangles, graft allegations, and claims of underdevelopment, if the past regimes are anything to go by, handing Governor Anne Kananu the leadership reign from nowhere to stabilize the county.
But the biggest issue that is ailing this city is a disconnect between the leadership, the structures of governance, and the people. And what we want is to have a facilitative and deliberative leadership, where the citizens of Nairobi, from whichever areas they are, through the resident associations, through their professional associations, and all their groups, can work hand in hand with the leaders to solve our challenges. We must start from the people, listen to them, reorient the culture of public service, make it pro-business, stop fighting our people.
We've pronounced ourselves loud and clear that that's a big disease, just like it's ailing the rest of the country. But it's not so much a disease, but a challenge to be tackled. Population density and the lack of facilities and access to proper health care, and very poor essential service provision, especially to informal settlements and low income congregate here to earn a living.
For a while now, politics has taken a center stage in the governance of the county, despite getting the lion's share in the equitable allocation of revenue from the exchequer in the last financial year, and collected on average 10 billion shillings as own source revenue, but still
was the new constitution. There is a chapter in there called chapter 6 that says, for you to access and be eligible for public office, which is politics, to manage city affairs, you must be competent, you must be suitable, and you must have the right level of integrity. In other words, your character, your capability, and your competence matters. Politics in Nairobi has been opposite of chapter 6.
I think where the politics of Nairobi has been wrong has been where we've had leaders who think about themselves and who have made a clique, almost like a cartel, that is running the city. I think from many years we used to have what we call the city fathers, the councillors with the mayors, and that small clique would dish out land allocations, would decide to displace people, would give out contracts to a few, and there's been that disconnect, such that until you give the people ownership, you will not then have the true taste of what devolution must be. And that is what we want to do, to bring back the power to the people, not the military.
Igade has been a corporate executive, having worked with senator. How different are they?
What is really different is I bring depth and breadth of experience. I know what an in-tray and an out-tray looks like. I have my entire 27 years, I have never once gotten a performance appraisal below above average. I've always been appraised as above average and outstanding every year. And I have been poached from one organization to the other. And not just organization, I'm talking about blue chip companies. I'm a performer.
The heart for the people is what defines me. I have leadership experience. What Nairobi needs is firm, strong, resilient leadership. It's a political animal. Political leadership is what will solve these problems of the city, because you can get the technical managers, but you must be able to have a vision, and you must be able to learn how to manage leaders. Now, when I was chairman of TNA, I was managing leaders. Managing people is difficult, but leaders is even more difficult.
Why does the two front runners really want to be governor?
Is that I have a strong burden for leadership and a strong burden for Nairobi. I was born in this city in Ngara in 1985, February. I have seen a Nairobi that was working, where our streets used to be cleaned, our garbage used to be collected with proper trucks that would open up on the sides. There were bins all over, the markets were thriving. That if it can be done, I can do it. And that is driving me. I am so passionate about it. I think I've developed that skill over time that this city needs. And I'm young. I don't want to retire at 42, after one term. And that's why I want to prove a point to this city.
It is now up to you, Nairobi. This year, Vincent Odur, NTV, Nairobi.